Welcome to Bdraft All Access. I'm your host, Jesse Coro, and with me, as always, Sam Boyer.
Thanks for having me, Jesse. Happy to be here.
Glad to have you, Sam. The scribe of the league doing a great job, as always, on our maiden voyage of Bdraft All Access. We have producer extraordinaire Teddy Too Hot, recognized from the radio side of things. Of course, all you hanging with Bdraft fans, you can expect a lot of the same goodness here on this show. Of course, Sam, a lot of the same production quality, a lot of fun. We're glad to have you. And let's get right to it, Sam. Last week of the regular season, we head into the playoffs, an epic week of playoffs ahead of us as we have the play-in tournament. We'll get to that later on. Let's start with last week's scenarios. And a lot going on, a lot of important games proceeding.
Right. First game of the night didn't happen, but still very important. It was a bye-week forfeit for Maddie's team.
Bye week.
Yep. Air up there, they got an automatic win. They're now in the top six for the playoffs. They have a bye. The 6:30 game, my game, not much to talk about other than Rod dunking on me. No Yanni, no Bird.
Rod dunked on you. I didn't know about that.
Rod, I was in the area.
Unfortunately, no video highlights of that in the area. We will see some video highlights of probably some less exciting action. So Rod Gate continues as we head on. Okay, Sam?
But the 7:20 game is where things got interesting. That was Little Giants versus Tame Some Strange. Playoff spot on the line. Strange, Barrett.
Classic B-Draft matchup. This is like Macho Man versus Hulk.
Biggie, Tupac,
whatever you like.
This had Cap and Tang.
Okay.
Bella and Noah. Always a fun time with those two. Little Giants, they ended up losing that game. Michael went off 34 points. He got the best of Barrett.
Okay.
So Tame Some Strange is in the top six now.
Yep.
8:10 p.m. game, we had...
Well, Sam, that's huge, the top six. Obviously, this season, top six, get a bye week into the playoffs. Those bottom eight have to fight it out on Crap Island, right?
Right. Bottom eight in a play-in tournament this upcoming...
Riff-raff.
Bottom eight playing the play-in tournament this upcoming week. We're going to have Bombs Away versus Shots to the Face. And the winner of that will play the winner of Bye Week and Man in the Black Pajamas.
Okay.
And later on in the night, it'll be Troubled Waters versus Hanger of Anger. And they'll play, the winner of that game plays the winner of Little Giants and Grits and Gravy.
And this is all in one night. We're going to get those two that are going to make it to the actual playoffs.
Right. We're going to figure out this upcoming Thursday.
That should be very exciting. I think everyone's looking forward to that.
I think it's going to be fun to watch, fun to play in.
All right, so the last couple games of the night.
So we had the 8-10 game, Grits and Gravy versus Give 'em the Hook. Seeding-wise, Give 'em the Hook already had the number 2 seed locked up. But Grits and Gravy, they were just playing for wherever they were going to play in the play-in tournament. Scoring title on the line for this one, though.
Right, a few guys within fractions of a point.
Tim Lenz, Chris Cousins, and Matt Furman, who would later play in the night.
I recall.
They had 25 points, and they were within 1 point of each other going into the night.
Wow.
So Cousins outscored Lenz by 1, and we'll get to how Furman did.
Okay.
9 p.m., Silky Johnson versus Shots to the Face without Kofi. Silky Johnson rolled, and that's important. Undefeated season.
I still don't know how that happened. Like, mind-blowing.
You don't see that very often, but a big thing, they had only 5 absences all season long.
It always, making it's half the battle every time.
And then Jesse, 9:50, Sweckmate versus Bombs Away. I'll let you talk about this one for a minute.
It was a tough game. It had a playoff atmosphere.
Right, win it in.
Both teams needed the win. It was a great final regular season game of the season. Really close most of the way. Sweckmate on the back of Kevin Swecker was able to get it at the end. And of course, Bradshaw and Sweck carrying us all season did it again. Lamone showed up when we have our core group, at least 5 of our guys.
Right.
We're usually tough to handle.
Now, the key to that game, too, was Matt Furman.
What we said going in is if we can keep Matt Furman from scoring, or at least shooting any kind of decent percentage from 3, because we all know his MO.
Right.
If we can keep him from that, there's no way they can score enough to beat us.
Right.
So that was plain and simple.
He had a 3 to start the game, only made
literally
basket
within seconds, a 3.
Only made basket of the night.
All right, let's take a look. Welcome back. Highlights from Sweckmate and Bombs Away. Some nice beats in the background too as well. Thanking Teddy Too Hot, of course. Moving forward with the show as we head into the playoffs and even next season, we'll start to see some more highlights of all the other teams and try and get more of this coverage. Just our first run, Sam. Doing pretty good so far, I think. So what we're going to do now is take a quick look at the playoffs as we move forward. And first we have the start of the playoffs, which is in the actual playoffs with 8 teams involved. Let's break it down, Sam.
Right. So the first leg of the playoffs will be the play-in tournament. And we have Bombs Away versus Shots to the Face to start.
Okay.
And the winner of that game plays the winner of Man in the Black Pajamas versus Bye Week.
Okay.
I think Bombs Away...
These feel like real playoff matchups, Sam.
Right.
I mean, this doesn't feel like a generic or subpar playoffs. I mean, these are good teams.
Well, in Bdraft, it's all quality games.
Right.
With the intensity and the level of importance for each game, one attendance issue, anything can happen in the
And you
Bdraft
expect
playoffs.
attendance, obviously, to be less of an issue, hopefully, in the playoffs, and thus giving us pretty good games.
Right. Well, let's start with the Bombs Away, Shots to the Face, Man in the Black Pajamas, Bye Week quadrant.
Okay.
Who do you like coming out of there? There's Weatherby's team, LeBlanc, Kofi, Roberts.
Well, in a situation like this, your first thought is best player.
Right.
Best player out of the bracket, LeBlanc.
Mark LeBlanc.
So that's a thought. And then I'm also thinking Bombs Away seems to be the most dynamic offense as a whole.
So
Then you also have Weatherby.
the way it could set up is Bombs Away versus Bye Week.
Right.
Bombs Away better team or better player with LeBlanc? I think I go Bombs Away.
I feel like Bombs Away can score in buckets a lot. And I don't know who stops that. I don't know who stops that of those teams.
Right. I think Bombs Away is the
Furman's
same
going to be
thing.
hungry.
Right. Jesse shut him down. You
You
shut him down last week.
That's what I heard. It's all a blur. It happened so fast. Let's take a look at the second four.
Second quadrant, Hanger of Anger versus Troubled Waters. Yanni is unfortunately out for the rest of the season. So we're going to need great team effort from everyone.
You're going to need Birds to show up.
We're going to need Birds to show up.
Okay.
Little Giants versus Grits and Gravy. These two teams played 6-on-6 a couple weeks ago. Tang hit a game-winning 3 at the buzzer. That's how that game was decided. So I like to think that this game will also be competitive as well.
Another great matchup.
Awesome.
Great matchup. Grits and Gravy winning, would they win 2 games this season?
2 or 3?
Unbelievable. And one of them was against us. Still can't believe that.
Right, and they didn't have Ruben that game.
Cousins, what, 2-17 or 18?
2-17 between B-Draft and Franchise.
Cousins, pick it up, bro.
That's a black eye for him.
That is. Well, I don't know if you get a black eye, but whatever. So, moving forward, much love, CC. So, out of that quadrant, who do you see moving forward?
You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take Grits and Gravy.
I'm gonna go Grits and Gravy too. I think Cousins
Best
steps up.
player.
Yeah.
The same idea that we had with bye week. Just
Cousins is a clutch player, and I don't like he likes to be bad mouthed. So I think it's time to go for him.
I'm gonna go Grits and Gravy.
All right, and we love Harry. We always love Harry at the show, so we're always wishing the Prince the best. So moving forward, as we're going to talk about Prince Harry in a minute as we get into the draft lottery. But first, let's take a look at those first 6 teams, which have already cemented playoff spots. How do they stack up?
Right. The number 1 and 2 seed are Silky Johnson and Give 'em the Hook.
Okay.
We don't know who those 2 teams are playing
As they will
Thursday
play the
after
winners.
the play-in tournament.
Okay.
They're going to play the 7 and 8 seed technically.
So that's a tough reward for winning that play-in tournament. And immediately face the top 2 seeds. That's a tough road.
Right. Hardest road to a
Tough
title.
road to hoe. So Sam, let's take a look at that top tier, the top 6 teams moving in. How do they stack up?
Right. The 1 seed, Silky Johnson. 2 seed, Give 'em the Hook. We don't know who they're playing. It'll be the winner of the play-in tournament.
Mhm.
And then the 3 and 6 will be 6 deep versus Tame from Strange.
No, Tames from Strange will play Sweatmate.
So 6 deep will play Air Up There.
Right. Some confusion early on, but with tiebreakers, which always seems to come into play, and we're starting to clean those up a bit. Although a bit funky with the odd schedule, some teams play 9, 10, whatever. So it breaks down Sweatmate, Tames from Strange. Great first round matchup.
What are you going to do about Strange?
There's nothing you can do about Strange. I mean, he's going to get his 30 plus in the playoffs. It's about making him tough shots, rebounding, just a solid team defense, which is Sweatmate's calling card.
Do you see yourself guarding him, Swecker, Bradshaw? Have you even thought about it yet?
You know, I love the challenge of guarding Strange
Right.
and letting him beast on me for a while. But I think Sweck is just a really tough matchup. He's really long. That was a big factor last week playing Stat. Stat wasn't able to get those easy looks as he kind of takes those odd angles to the basket. He gets those layups a lot. Sweck's really long and active on the boards. It's tough to get a good look inside.
Right, that should definitely be a great matchup.
But we'll give him different looks. Might go with the zone. 1-3. 2-2.
Okay.
3-1.
Do we want to move on to the lottery?
Yes. I absolutely want to take a look at the lottery. These results just recently in, and of course, as we wrap up this season, we're always looking towards the next season. It'll be 10 teams, right?
Back to 10 teams.
Okay.
We have the 10 captains in order. So the number 1 pick this season going to...
Let's start with the 10 pick. Shouldn't we?
All
Start
right.
with the 10 pick.
So let's take a look at the lottery. We'll start at the bottom. Number 10, Nate Mendez.
Nate Mendez gets the turnaround. 10
So
and 11.
he's going to have 10,
He's
11.
bound to make some errors there.
No idea what he is strategizing. No idea if he ever has a strategy.
He has no idea.
Number 9, Noah Spalding. Everyone-
That's interesting. I like to see Noah down there. Definitely going to be
So
active.
he'll have 9, 12. 8 and 13, Jesse Corwin.
Okay, I like that. I think that's one of the better positions.
The first surprise of the lottery, number 7, Harry Labov.
Harry finally going to be picking from the back.
So this will be
Has
interesting.
he ever not been a top 3 pick?
Well, that's what I was thinking. This is the first time you'll have to really strategize. If he's going to trade up, is he going to trade down, is he not going to trade at all?
And he's a guard, so he's going to need a big. So it's going to be interesting.
It will be interesting to see what he's going to do with that. Number 6, we have Matty Bells.
Another interesting slot for Maddie.
He fell a spot or 2.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Flynn at number 5. He had the number 1 chance at the. He had the best chance at the number 1 pick.
So that sucks.
For him, yes.
Yeah, it's cool.
For me, I benefit because I'm now.
Although,
number 4.
I got to say, I think 5 in that mid-range, it's a good pick too. On the turnaround, you get the 15. A lot of times that 15 is a real kind of, last point where that drop-off comes in the
Right.
second
There's
round.
always someone that drops in the mid-second round.
Yep.
That shouldn't.
Mhm.
Number 4, myself.
That's a great spot.
Number 3, we have Cullen, who jumped up. Now, he just had a 10-0 season. Now he's getting a top 3 pick.
And Cullen's an interesting guy because he's very active on the boards. Big guy, I mean, he can get a compliment big guy in the second
Athletic.
round.
Can
And that's
defend.
fine, yeah. So he could go with a lens or something in the first
Right,
round.
he can do whatever.
Potentially. I mean, he can do anything. I see Cullen trading down. Like
Not a bad idea.
yeah.
Number 2, Mike Vella.
Mike Vella. Okay.
So he's got to be looking at either Cousins or Marcel, whoever Kevin Smith doesn't take with the number 1 pick.
Kevin Smith. Okay.
He told me earlier in the week that he was planning on retiring.
I can tell you right now, Kevin has no idea, and we all know, as we know Kevin, it's going to come down to draft day. He's going to be running around like a maniac, asking everyone else what their opinion is. He's not going to have any idea. He's going to freak out, and then he's going to take Marcel.
Well, to go from I might retire to now
Well,
landing the number 1 pick.
Once you get over, into your 30s, after every season, we all kind of, you guys know what I'm talking about, we kind of got our reevaluate things a little bit, but the love is just it's still too strong.
Hard to walk away.
It's so hard. Hard to hobble away. All right, so that's a wrap for us. We took a look at last week's games, this week's preview. As we head into the playoffs, it's going to be a fantastic run, no doubt. All 14 teams still engaged. That's exciting for everybody. 8 teams play, then the next 8 play. That's going to be a great time as we head towards the chip. Sam, any last thoughts on this season?
It's been fun as usual to follow the league, do stats for the league. Already looking forward to next season as well. The playoffs coming up, the lottery, the draft.
Well, from all of us, we appreciate all your work all season long. This is Bdraft All Access. Please catch up with us on the next episode. We'll see you soon. For Teddy Too Hot, Sam Boyer.
Thanks again for having me.
I'm Jesse Corwin.
Sam Boyer.
Be good.